The morning sun spilled warmly across the Bates farm, casting long golden streaks through the kitchen windows. Lydia Romake Bates stood at the counter whisking pancake batter, humming softly while Riker babbled from his high chair. It was one of those peaceful, ordinary mornings, the kind she treasured. But peace has a strange way of slipping through your fingers when you least expect it. Just as she reached for a pan, a sudden shiver raced up her spine. Lydia froze mid-movement. The whisk fell silent in her hand. Something felt off. The room hadn't changed. The baby was fine. Her phone hadn't buzzed. But Lydia couldn't shake the prickling sense that something was wrong. Terribly wrong. She tried to shrug it off, but her heart had already begun to thump harder. "Riker," she whispered, glancing toward him. "Do you feel that?" Of course he didn't answer. He only giggled and kicked his feet, but Lydia couldn't ignore the invisible weight pressing against her chest. She forced herself to move again. "It's nothing," she told herself. "Just nerves, just a moment." But even as she poured the batter into the warm skillet, her hands trembled. A knock at the front door made her jump. She wiped her hands on a towel and hurried to answer it, the unease growing sharper with every step. When she opened the door, her sister-in-law Esther stood there, cheeks flushed, holding a folded piece of paper. "Lydia," Esther said quietly, "you need to see this." Lydia's stomach twisted. "Is it bad?" she asked. Esther hesitated. "Just read it." Inside, Lydia unfolded the paper with shaking fingers. It wasn't typed. It was handwritten, and the shaky cursive wasn't familiar. Her eyes scanned the first few lines. She inhaled sharply. "Lydia, you don't know me, but I know your husband, and I know something he never told you." Her breath caught. For a moment, the world muffled around her. She could hear Esther asking if she was okay, but the words on the page blurred as panic rose in her chest. Ethan? Her Ethan? What could he possibly be hiding? For a moment, Lydia couldn't move, couldn't think. The fear she'd felt in the kitchen came roaring back, now with a name and a shape. Esther reached for her arm. "We don't know if it's true. We don't even know who wrote it. Ethan's on his way home now. Mom called him." Lydia swallowed hard, forcing air into her lungs. Why would someone send this? Why now? "We don't know," Esther said gently. "But you're not alone, okay? The whole family is here." Lydia nodded, though her hands still trembled. She set the letter on the counter as though it were something fragile and dangerous. Minutes later, the sound of a truck door slamming echoed through the yard. Ethan rushed inside, his eyes locking onto Lydia immediately. "Are you okay?" he asked, breathless. Lydia held up the letter. "What is this?" Ethan took it, jaw tightening as he read. When he looked back at her, his eyes were full of hurt, wide, earnest, pleading. "Lydia, this isn't real," he said firmly. "It's someone trying to stir trouble. I don't know who wrote it or why, but I swear to you it's not true." Her heartbeat hammered against her ribs. She wanted to believe him. She did believe him, but the fear, the warning she'd felt before the knock, still clung to her. "Why did I feel something was wrong?" she whispered. Ethan cupped her face gently. "Because you love us. Because you're sensitive. But listen to me. Nothing is going to break us apart. Not lies, not letters. Nothing." Slowly, Lydia softened. She leaned into him, letting his reassurance wash over her. The fear didn't vanish completely, but as Ethan wrapped his arms around her, she felt something stronger rise to the surface. Trust. And she clung to it with everything she had.